everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome back here today to another episode of the Just Ballin' podcast. I recently dropped some off-season trade ideas throughout the week here in an episode, and Bleacher Report dropped 10 NBA free agency predictions for the 2025 offseason. So I think it'll be cool to talk about just some off-season ideas. You could switch some teams, and even on my Srosh channel, I ranked the top 25 free agents for this offseason as well, as there are some really intriguing free agents out there. I'm sure we're going to get a bunch, and probably the 10 most intriguing ones here. I mean, LeBron James is the cover photo. I don't think LeBron James will leave the Lakers. I don't think Harden will leave the Clippers. I would be shocked if Kyrie left the Mavericks, but who knows what's going on in Dallas. So we are going to react to this article, see if I could see that happening, see if I can't see that happening, and maybe what I would do to change anything either. And if you guys do enjoy the pod, I'd appreciate you dropping a thumbs up on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, really appreciate a rating and review. Can help the podcast grow to try to get more episodes out for you guys. So let's dive into this. The first one is going to be Naz Reid to the Detroit Pistons. All right, Timberwolves fans, shield your eyes. So I don't know how... Oh, man, shield your eyes. Why did I say that? But yeah, I don't know how Wolves fans are going to feel about this, but they're going to have a lot on their plate this offseason. Tim Connolly, the main decision maker there, is going to have to make a lot of tough decisions this offseason just because, man, they're a second apron team. They're going to try to get under the second apron. You have the Rudy Gobert new contract kicking in. I mean, it's not really that much a good effect. It's actually, I think, going to save them money. But you have Naz Reid, Julius Randle, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker all becoming free agents. So how can you navigate the second apron? Naz Reid's going to look for a payday or a pay raise. Same with Nah. Randle is probably the odd man out, but what if he opts in? What if there isn't really a trade market for Randle, right? Like, how could that go about moving forward? So I think those are something to keep an eye on for the Timberwolves. The Pistons are projected to have $24.5 million in cap space if they re-announce their rights to Malik Beasley, Dennis Schroeder, and Tim Hardaway Jr., assuming Jaden Ivey returns to full strength after a season-ending leg fracture. That money could go to Minnesota Timberwolves forward/center Naz Reid, who won Sixth Man of the Year last season. Now, Reid could augment current big man Jalen Duren. I almost said Jaren Duran, and Isaiah Stewart. Now, I would prefer to have Naz Reid over Isaiah Stewart. I think I would be very intrigued about a Naz Reid, Jalen Duren front court. I don't want Malik Beasley to leave. I would prefer to trade away Isaiah Stewart and then do this. So I think top of my priority if I'm Detroit this offseason, re-signing Malik Beasley, 4 years, $60 million. I would try to go below that Grayson Allen extension that he got, and I would just try to use my mid-level exception on him. And then Naz Reid, I wouldn't mind giving him $23 million. So basically, I would like to trade Isaiah Stewart, get off of that $15 million he's owed, basically, give that money to Malik Beasley, and then lock up Naz Reid. I think that would be fantastic for the Detroit Pistons moving forward. Would Minnesota be able to match that somehow? I know they have some financial issues I just listed, but if they, I don't know, if Naz Reid gets offered $23 million, I mean, Minnesota has to do everything they can to bring him back. You let Nickeil Alexander-Walker walk, no pun intended, if that means you can bring back Naz Reid. You trade Julius Randle for 20 cents on the dollar if that means you bring back Naz Reid. Naz Reid is part of your future with Jaden McDaniels and Anthony Edwards and Rob Dillingham there as well, and you cannot afford to let him walk. What if a team offers Naz Reid $30 million? What if he gets... All right, I don't think this is happening, but what if it's similar to Fred VanVleet, where Fred VanVleet basically got 3 years, $120 million. The last year was a team option. Or what if it's similar to Hardenstein's deal, where it's not fully guaranteed on the last year, but Naz Reid can make $70 million in just 2 years? That's life-changing money. That is generational wealth. I don't know. That would be tough for Naz Reid to shut down, and I don't know if Minnesota can really dive deep into that initially in their payroll. So if he were going to leave, I'd like him in Detroit. I think that'd be a fun, not co-star, but a nice secondary shot creator to Cade Cunningham and even Jaden Ivey, who I'm excited to see back. I hope he's still looking as mobile as he did before the injury. Whoa, we got Josh Giddey to the Brooklyn Nets. I don't know if Chicago could afford to not match any Josh Giddey offer out there. He just had an incredible game against the Lakers. He feels like he's putting up triple doubles left and right here since the All-Star break. I know March, things can get out of hand. Guys you've never even heard of are dropping 20 points a game. And it kind of is a fake month for stats at times, especially for these teams that really don't have anything to play for. And these guys that can take 20 shots a night when they normally can are going to have the ball way more. I don't know, man. I'm buying into this Giddey stretch. I know I think last year, right? For the Thunder, he got off to that tough start. I think he had his best month last year in March as well. So maybe keep an eye on the Chicago. But if I could lock up Josh Giddey on a 3-year deal, I'm happy with that. If I'm either team, Brooklyn or Chicago here, because if I'm Chicago, I don't plan on still being good going forward. I would see it, Kobe White trade market and maybe sell high on him before his extension. He's going to ask for this offseason because he could be a 2026 free agent. But you're going to draft some young wings, and you got Matas. You maybe drafted big in this draft. Maybe they get Kamal Watch, or maybe they get Derek Queen. Josh Giddey is the perfect facilitating point guard to bring them in, and Giddey can help orchestrate the offense around them. I think that would be fantastic for them moving forward because he's got great court vision. He can navigate ball screens. He can operate out of the pick and roll, and he knows when to just throw the ball to the big and get them good touches. And I think that would be great for Chicago. If it's like 4-year, 140, I'm like, I don't know. That's a lot of money for Josh Giddey. He's not a great defender and has been a very inconsistent shooter, but he's shooting 40+% from three over his last 25 games. I mean, if I'm Brooklyn, they also don't really have like a true point guard on their roster. Because Cam Thomas is restricted, but he's an off-ball player, or like he could be on-ball, but it's not like a true point guard. Like Devo's probably going to be gone or not brought back, and they've had just hodgepodge of guys in that backcourt this year. And the Nets are going to have so much money; they're going to have the most cap space out there. And then they're saying 4 years, 120. Like that's a lot of money. 15% trade bonus and a 50% of his annual salary before each season. Like that's a lot of money for Chicago to match, and they have their own financial obligations right now. Like Vucevic is still under contract, and Pat Will just got $90 million last offseason. Not too sure about that. I mean, Zach Collins has 1 year left. Trey Jones is a free agent. Herter, I believe, has 1 year left. Like, I mean, Herter and Collins are some gross contracts right now, or I forget if Herter's a free agent. Either way, I think Giddey, I think Chicago should bring back Giddey. If it is 4-year, 120, like that's a lot of money for Josh Giddey. Then we're having the debate, but I don't want to be good. And maybe Josh Giddey makes you too good, right? Like Chicago, this is fun right now, but what if they make the playoffs as the 8 seed and they just get smacked by the Cavs or the Celtics in round 1? What are you ending the season with? You're ending the season with Thomas Sorber from Georgetown. You're ending the season with Noah Essengay from Germany. Like you're not getting a franchise-changing talent when at one point when they traded away Levine, you're like, all right, and we got our first round pick back. I know there was a protection. Either way, like let's go out and I don't want to say tank, but like let's try to get a Cooper Flag. Let's try to get a Dylan Harper. It's just like I'm happy, and like Kobe's playing well and Modest is playing well, but I don't know. The Bulls have been in the middle of the Eastern Conference for years now, and I don't know if that's going to change if they end up making the playoffs just to get bounced in round 1. Next up, we do have Jonathan Kuminga to the Brooklyn Nets. So I guess the Nets are landing the big restricted guys between Kuminga and Josh Giddey. I mean, I don't know how this isn't like a 3-team trade and Golden State ends up getting somebody, because I don't know if there's anybody from Brooklyn. Maybe it is a Cam Johnson. The Nets need to do their homework with Giddey and Kuminga, as these two deals would leave them with about $4.7 million in additional cap room. If they need to sweeten one of the offers, they would offer him a 4-year, $105 million contract, $28.5 million a year, which is a lot of money for Jonathan Kuminga, but I do think he's worth that, or at least taking the chance on him. I mean, that 4th year being guaranteed or a player option is tough, because who knows what direction Kuminga's development is going to go in, especially going from Kerr's offense to Jordy's offense. And maybe that'll be better for him, as he can be like the focus point compared to being second fiddle, third fiddle over there in Golden State, at least for the next 2 years behind Steph and Jimmy. But yeah, the Warriors can match any offer. They're going to have to deal with the luxury tax. I do wonder, $28.5 million. I don't know if the Nets would like to do like Cam Johnson for Kuminga to sign a trade, but for the Warriors, they would save some money there. I don't know how they would feel about Cam Johnson in that offense. It would be kind of fun, not going to lie, with him getting some great looks with the defense so focused on Steph. But how is Steph going to look like next year when he's going to be around 37 years old? I mean, the Nets, there's going to be some 2026 free agents too, you know? So we don't have to blow through all this cap space on Josh Giddey and Jonathan Kuminga. Like, there'd be a reason why these teams don't match these deals. So I don't think if I'm the Nets, I'm trying to get both those guys. And then their next prediction is Cam Thomas goes back to the Nets. So I guess we're just signing all of the restricted free agents here. Why don't we get Quentin Grimes as well? So Cam Thomas back to the Nets. They get Kuminga and they get Giddey with these projections. The Nets may not want to battle with Thomas in negotiations. If they offered him 3 years, $69 million, can Thomas turn away that much money? Yeah, I don't think so. Like, I don't think Thomas would play on the qualifying offer. If he got 3 years, $69 million, I'm taking that in a heartbeat. Once again, $23 million. That's life-changing money. I would take that. I know there's going to be some unfortunate New York taxes in that, but you never have to worry about money if you're smart with it for the rest of your life. And for Cam Thomas, He's been banged up this year. Who knows what's going to happen next year? Who knows if he's not going to get as many offensive touches next year? Your numbers could go down. Teams may not have the cap space. I would 100% take that contract if I were Cam Thomas, if it's all guaranteed. And I don't know. I don't know who's offering Cam Thomas a deal out there. Like, I could see Utah or Washington, Detroit being intrigued by Kuminga and Giddey. Not Giddey to Detroit, but more so Kuminga. I just don't know who's offering Cam Thomas anything close to that this offseason that has cap space. Like, I don't think Washington would want him. Does Orlando try to do something? I don't know. I don't think that's the shooter they need unless they like Jalen Suggs at the 1 and they can get Cam Thomas on a 3-year deal and that can kind of coexist with the timeline. I don't know though, because Cam Thomas, it's a lot of like hero ball, a lot of like let him cook, and I don't know how many teams want to let him cook on their current rosters. So yeah, they say with Giddey, Kuminga, and Cam Thomas at these numbers, the Nets would have $4.7 million left in cap space with a $8.8 million mid-level exception to spend without exceeding the $187 million luxury tax threshold. Okay, a little bit of a shocker here. Guerschon Yabusele to the San Antonio Spurs. And Guerschon will be one of the better free agents on the open market. I'd expect Philly to go back and snag him, but what if he does make like $10, $12 million on the open market and Philly's got to worry about quitting Grimes now? They're flirting with the luxury tax and well over it with Maxey, Paul George, and Embiid all making around like 30% of the team's total cap space. They mentioned that meanwhile, San Antonio has one of Yabusele's French teammates in Victor Wembanyama, and they have the full non-taxpayer mid-level exception at its disposal. Yeah, I mean, what if he does make $14 million out there? I do feel like Philadelphia can get to that non-taxpayer, but maybe it really depends on what Quentin Grimes' contract is going to look like. And they do mention that Quentin Grimes goes back to Philadelphia. I know, like, what if Philadelphia gets a second pick and you have like McCain, Harper, Maxey, and Grimes? Like, do you have all those guards that maybe need the ball in their hands? I mean, McCain is a great off-ball player, but I think Philadelphia has to bring back Quentin Grimes. You hit a home run with that trade, and Quentin Grimes' numbers are obviously going to go down next year when you have Maxey back fully healthy and McCain and Paul George and Embiid, and he's going from the number 1 scoring option, which is crazy to say, Quentin Grimes like being a number 1 scoring option that's working. They're also losing games. He's going to go down to like the 4th or the 5th scoring option again, and he's going to go back into his role-playing ways. But hey, teams see the potential. What if Philadelphia is like, we know you're not really going to average more than like 13, 14 points a game. We'll give you $20 million a year. What if the Nets? What if the Jazz? What if these teams call up, or Detroit? Well, no, not Detroit, because that didn't work out there. But like, what if they call up Quentin Grimes and they're like, we'll give you $25 million a year, and we'll give you a larger role. What if he ends up in like Sacramento somehow in a sign and trade? I don't know. I'm just throwing out anything out there. I think it would be interesting to see how much money he can get on the market. I think 4 years, $78 million, $17.5 million with a player option. I just don't know. Like, can you offer him $100 or $30 million a year? Or since where he was selected in the draft and it can only go up so much from what your previous year's salary is, how much can he fully get on the open market? But he's going to be like, I assume the Nets are going to offer him something, and then the Sixers are going to be forced to match. They mentioned Fred VanVleet back to the Houston Rockets. Yeah, I like, he's not making $45 million, right? Like, they're going to decline that. But you can get him back on a team-friendly deal. Yeah, maybe it's $25 million starting salary. Ooh, I don't want to do that. Now, that is a good trade contract. If you do get a big name down the line and you're going after Booker or Zion or one of those names, yeah, you could include his $25 million, but I don't know. It's a lot of money. And I would be more intrigued about making Fred VanVleet a veteran backup point guard next year, right? And you have Jalen Green, you have Amen Thompson. I guess who's the point guard for you, right? Like, you're not going to put, I think, Amen at the 1 or Jalen Green at the 1. I don't know if they're going to add a point guard this offseason, right? Like, I don't see them trading for John Moran or LaMelo Ball or any of those guards that could hit the open or can maybe get traded, but I don't think so. So, yeah, I do think he's going to go back, but for $25 million a year, I don't really love that. Myles Turner back to the Pacers. This makes the most sense. I mean, he was a lottery pick back in 2015, one of the longest tenured guys, right? Like, outside of, I'm sure there's another guy I'm forgetting, but like outside of Steph and Draymond, he's up there with one of the longest tenured players in the league. I know like Kevon Looney's been there for a minute, but I think Myles Turner's got to come back. I think there was a way that they couldn't extend him mid-season just because they had to structure, which you don't normally see, his previous extension because he was playing on such a discount. And yeah, they're going to bring him back. I know they got to worry about the luxury tax with Nemhard's extension kicking in and Halliburton and Siakam making a ton of money. Obi's getting paid. You got a Matherin extension looming. Neesmith's getting paid. McConnell's getting paid. Jarris Walker's got a top 10 contract salary, so I think Indiana will make a trade this offseason to avoid some of the tax payments, but they will bring back Myles Turner in some way, shape, or form. They mentioned James Harden back to the Clippers. I mean, no surprise there. I think he's going to decline that $36 million player option. Yeah, maybe it's just a new 2-year deal where he's like, all right, I'm going to get another $75 million guaranteed, or maybe it's a 3-year deal. Maybe it's 3 years, $110 million, and he's like, all right, I got another $100 million to my name before I retire. Must be nice. And then lastly, we do have LeBron back to the Lakers. I mean, yeah, no shocker there. They get Luka. Maybe it's a 1-year deal. I doubt it's a 2-year deal, but maybe it's a 2-year deal. It's on the table. I think all eyes are going to just be on LeBron if he's going to come out and say this will be my last year. Because I think if you say it's your last year and you do all the retirement tour, you have to retire. You can't just like do all that and then not retire or come back from it. But if he doesn't say anything, like he could retire and then he could come back on it like Brady-esque. So we'll see going forward. But those were Bleacher Report's free agency predictions for this upcoming offseason. Let me know what you guys think of that. Let me know what you think your team should do this upcoming offseason as well. I hope you guys did enjoy. Drop a thumbs up on YouTube if you did. I would really appreciate it. And if you can leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, it could go a long way as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.